Earthquake in Myanmar. 2,000 dead. Survivors pulled from the rubble, but hundreds remain missing. The military regime of Myanmar has reported that the death toll from the devastating earthquake in the country has surpassed 2,000 people. More than 3,900 residents have been injured, and 270 people are still considered missing. Rescue operations continue in both Myanmar and neighboring Thailand, which was also affected by the earthquake. Earlier, rescuers in Myanmar managed to pull 4 more survivors from the rubble. According to the country's fire department, they were rescued from a collapsed school building in the northern Sagaing region, where the body of a deceased person was also recovered. In Bangkok, the death toll has risen to 18. After the collapse of a high-rise building under construction, 76 workers remain missing. Rescue efforts have been ongoing since Friday, and international aid has started arriving in Myanmar. However, it is reaching the most affected areas with delays, and local residents are trying to dig out those trapped under the rubble by hand. The World Health Organization states that hospitals are overwhelmed with the injured, while a representative of the World Food Programme told the BBC that thousands of displaced people lack access to food, medicine, and shelter. In Mandalay, the country's second-largest city, a local school teacher told the BBC on Sunday that she had not yet seen any humanitarian aid. "They say help is arriving, but people are still suffering," she said. A resident of the neighboring city of Sagaing reported that the streets reek of dead bodies. Across central Myanmar, rescue teams are facing equipment shortages, with some rescuers digging out victims with their bare hands. Power and communication outages, along with damaged roads and bridges, are also complicating rescue operations. On Saturday evening, an elderly woman was rescued in Myanmar's capital, Naypyidaw, after being trapped under the rubble of a hospital for 36 hours. According to local firefighters, 29 people have been rescued from a collapsed residential building in Mandalay. According to the United States Geological Survey, USGS, earthquakes with magnitudes of 7.7 and 6.4 struck on Friday, March 28. The USGS reports that the first more powerful earthquake occurred on Friday afternoon in central Myanmar at approximately 12:50 p.m. local time. The second quake followed about 12 minutes later, with a magnitude of 6.4 and an epicenter located 18 kilometers south of the regional capital of Sagaing, near Mandalay. Because the earthquake occurred at a depth of only 10 kilometers, its effects on the surface were more intense. Aftershocks have continued since then. On Sunday, a tremor with a magnitude of 5.1 was recorded northwest of Mandalay. In Bangkok, an unfinished residential building collapsed, burying many construction workers underneath. Thailand's Deputy Prime Minister, Anutin Charnvirakul, stated on Sunday that rescuers had detected signs of life under the rubble at the collapse site, but warned that there was little hope of saving those still trapped. On Sunday, Thailand's Minister of Industry, Akanat Promphan, told reporters that anomalies had been found in the steel used for the building's construction, and samples had been taken for analysis. Rescue teams from various countries continue to arrive in Myanmar. A team of 82 rescuers from China has already arrived, while Hong Kong has sent more than 50 rescuers. A flight from India has landed with a rescue team and essential supplies. Malaysia's Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced that it would send a team of 50 people to assist in disaster relief efforts. The Philippines, Vietnam, Indonesia, Ireland, South Korea, Russia, New Zealand, and the United States are also dispatching rescue teams. UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy has pledged £10 million in aid for those in greatest need.
亀裂が走っているんですけれども、だいたい30メートルぐらい続いています。そして路面がせり上がっている場所もあります。これどれぐらいですかね。30センチ、50センチぐらいですか。ここ危ないかもな。なんか下空洞か。空洞になってるんですかね、これ。
The military junta in Myanmar has declared a state of emergency in the regions of Sagaing, Mandalay, Bago, and Magwe, as well as in the eastern part of Shan State and the capital, Naypyidaw. Junta leader Min Aung Hlaing has appealed to the international community for assistance. I would like to invite any country, any organization, any person to help. Thank you, he said in a televised address, adding that he had opened all avenues for foreign aid. However, Myanmar's military continues airstrikes in some areas of the country affected by civil war. The United Nations has called these attacks utterly outrageous and unacceptable. Rebel groups fighting to remove the military from power reported airstrikes in Chong-yu Township in the Sagaing region. The military regime seized power in a coup in 2021, but no longer controls large parts of the country, which are divided among various rebel groups. The National Unity Government, representing the ousted civilian administration, announced that its armed forces would observe a 2-week pause in offensive military operations except for defensive actions in areas affected by the earthquake starting Sunday. The disaster victims also face another threat: the approaching monsoon season. Heavy rains could force displaced people to relocate once again. Last year, severe monsoon flooding damaged homes and sanitation facilities. Lauren Ellery from the International Rescue Committee told the BBC.
1階部分が潰れ、道路に散乱する瓦礫。昨日撮影された震源から最も近い町、ザガインの映像です。切断された巨大な橋。地面には無数の亀裂が走っていました。